Hi, I'm Doug, and I am lead artisan for the Art Encounter. I have always been interested in art and special effects since I was a kid, and that eventually led to doing special effects makeup as a hobby, which eventually led to doing it for plays, which eventually led to a job at the Art Institute of Pittsburgh. I was supposed to teach there for 3 months as a substitute teacher and then ended up teaching for 15 years, which eventually led to working for a Christian TV station where we met Buddy Davis, who introduced us to Ken, and then that led to the museum, which led to Dancers in Genesis. So looking back, that's easy to see what God was doing, but it was not clear at the time. We put our heads together and figure out what the best way is to make that animal. If there's a really difficult decision that just has to be made, I'll make that decision. But I totally trust the guys. These guys are just absolutely incredibly talented. And sometimes the way that would look the best is not the way that would be the most permanent. So we have to figure out where that compromise might be. So that's an example of something that I would do. In some cases, we're taking taxidermy forms of animals that are similar to what we want them to be. This is an extinct pig that's a little different, so those were altered. Animals like the T-Rex, the Anisidon, the Pakicetus, those are some examples of a bunch. Those are modeled either by Stephanie or Travis. They will model those in 3D, then that information will be used to cut out parts of all the animal in white styrofoam. Those pieces are then assembled. Once the animal's form is made, then that is hard-coded and reinforced with steel. And then if it's an animal that's got scales like the T-Rex, that is being hand sculpted onto the surface using epoxy putty, and all those little scales are sculpted by hand. If they are something that's furry, then we just go straight to fur, because the fur is going to completely cover over the sort of weird bumpy texture of the urethane foam anyway, so that doesn't really need any more attention than that. On the pig and the entelodons, those have sections that are silicone. For instance, the pigs that I'm working on, I did one sculpture out of clay, made a mold of that, and then cast the skin for the face out of silicone. So we've got actually a silicone skin here, and we only need it on the face because everywhere else it's super furry, but on the face you can see the skin through the fur. So the skin will be painted, and then each hair on the face will be individually hand punched in using a regular sewing needle, but we would take the eye of that needle and break it off so it's kind of like a little hook. You can actually hook each individual hair, push it in to the silicone. When you pull it out, the needle comes out, but the hair stays in, and it looks exactly like it's growing out of the skin. And whatever angle you push it in, that's the angle it looks like it's growing. With the ape kind, I'm also doing a silicone skin for that guy. We're gonna see a lot of skin through hair. The only way to really get that look is to specifically insert individual hairs into each of, every little pore is gonna have a hair coming out of it. It's really gonna be amazing. With the giraffe kind, Ben and Jesse took those forms, cut them all up, added styrofoam, sculpted them. Ben and Jesse did all the detail on the face, sculpted the eyes and the ears and everything. Then the bodies are resin coated. Levi did the fur. Now I'm painting them using fabric paints and an airbrush. I keep saying, oh, this one is my favorite every time one comes off the line. So I can't say what my favorite will be next week. Right now, the Silosaurus, he's the first fully 3D printed animal that we've got. That's my favorite right now. We'll see next week. I'm most excited about the Why the Bible is True exhibit. I have absolutely nothing to do with it, but I'm really excited about that because I know that a lot of people are going to come there to see the Ark, a lot of people are going to come there to see the animals and things that we're working on. Those are important, but ultimately the gospel is the most important thing, so that's the thing I'm most excited about. I'm getting to do what I love to do for the Lord. That's an amazing thing.